Well, welcome back to the And Go podcast. This week, in honor of live concerts, which something we probably haven't done in a year and probably won't be able to get to in the next year, thanks to you know what. We're going to talk about our memories of concerts. Gents, start your engines and go.
There are none. We were all high and drunk.
The
The end.
end. No one
Well, thank you for
remembers.
joining on this special And Go podcast. It's especially short this time.
There was some singing, I remember. Yada, yada, yada.
I spent a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Were there titties, Mike?
Oh, that's a good segue, actually. Because the one and only HF festival that I went with you, Brian. And that was when we were drinking the Flaming Dr. Peppers. I was all of 16, 17. My mom didn't listen to me.
Shh,
So
we'll
fine.
get sued or arrested.
Yeah,
What's the
arrested,
statute
yeah.
of limitation for that sort of thing?
It's got to be like 5 days, max. I think... I don't remember who. Someone had like joints in their bra. Anyway, 16-year-old, 17-year-old Mike, I was walking around and some girl had Will Flash for Dick, like written across her boobs. And I was like, hey, all right. And then she smiled and her teeth were just like it was like the hills have eyes. They were just like jagged and
Oh,
yellow.
God.
And that was gross. And she kept giving me like the flirty eyes. She's like, hey, and it was fucking gross. Um,
Why does that always happen to you, Mike?
I don't know.
With the
I don't know.
horrible teeth. Remember
I don't know.
the girl in Laurel in the parking lot of Cluck You? Same deal.
Oh, are you the snowman? That chick?
The one who wanted the ride.
Yeah, yeah. She kept talking about. She kept
Yeah.
asking if we were the snowman or the
Yeah.
snowman or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Fairly
know.
attractive until she opened her mouth and it's like,
Oh,
oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun memory.
So we're so focused on women now. I think we're a little sidetracked. Sorry. You were talking about Ozfest last time.
Yeah, that was a great show, man. I went with. I guess I shouldn't name any names, but I went with two high school friends of mine. Drove down to Virginia for the show. Had a great time. Just an all day affair. I think I left sunburnt. That was where I broke my first pair of Wayfarers, which lasted me like a good 2 years, which is fine. Ozzy was great. That's where I saw Linkin Park as well. Chris Cornell was there. That was great. Again, the only people that I saw flashing were people flashing for Ozzy. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, that was a great fucking time, man. That was a new experience for young Michael. Even though I'd already been to HF Festival, Ozfest felt like kind of a step above in a way.
Hmm.
Maybe just in terms of the crowd, as a crowd I wasn't really used to, But it was a
Mhm.
lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I had a blast, actually. I got a bunch more, Bill. I don't want to step on your toes, though.
No, no. I mean, probably the best for me was probably some of the HFS, the festivals that we went to. Those were, I think, some of the best shows. One, because they were all day, and two, like you said, the crowd's a little different at a festival.
Yeah.
A little bit more fun, a little bit more, I don't know, enthusiasm from the crowd, and usually, and that kind of thing. So,
And the smell of pot is permeating that place. So, what do you think was the best band you saw there, and what's the worst band? I'm pretty sure it's Puddle of Mud or POD. I
was
think
the
you
best or the worst?
both.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember like who would be the best. I actually do remember not Puddle POD being pretty good. I remember we left because they like took a small break and we thought that it was done. They were like the last band of the day on one of the days. I don't remember if it was a Saturday or whatever. And I remember us leaving and then them starting back up and being like, "Damn it!" And we missed like half their set. We heard it from like the parking lot. So
Yeah, I'm
actually,
thinking
a
of
pretty good
Papa
line.
Roach, I think. I think that's
Yeah,
where we were
yeah.
like, is he high or drunk? Or most
Yeah,
likely
there was
both.
something up. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I'm old man with my oatmeal. It's like spinach for my memory, and I haven't had mine today. So I just, from last podcast, Green Day was pretty good. I like seeing Modest Mouse. I went around to the local bands. There was a band that I was big on back in the day called Mood Room. I think who they went on tour in Europe, but haven't heard anything from them since then.
I almost got into a fight at a show once. Well, okay, so me and my coworker, we'll call him Mike. We went to a couple of shows together. We went to a Carnival of Madness show when they were doing that tour at Merriweather, and that was pretty good. We conned our way into the VIP area. We just walked in with confidence, as the name implies, conned our way in, and we were fine. And I like started dancing with some girl during Stained, or maybe it was Aaron Lewis from Stained. I really don't know. And like halfway through the show, we just started making out, and that was awesome. Obviously, a memorable experience for me. We also got fucking annihilated drunk at that show. So I think afterwards we walked back to the mall because that's where we parked, because it's just easier. And we both like peed on a tree or something like that, me and Mike. That was a really good time, actually. But then me and Mike also went to uh, the Foo Fighters arranged this show on 4th of July at RFK, probably 7 years ago now, 7 years ago. And he met me in my house, and we were gonna Uber down, and we started drinking immediately. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think each of us had like at least 7 beers before we walked into the fucking place. And Mike was considerably older than myself, so by the time the Foo Fighters came on, he was having back problems. He was like passed out drunk in the stands. I actually took a little naparooski in the stands as well. I've noticed that at concerts I have a really bad habit of getting drunk and just throwing my hats into the crowd.
You do. You definitely
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, because I actually brought 2 hats with me because I knew that something was going to happen to one of them. And I had this really cool captain's hat. And I was like chatting with some girls. I probably was not nearly as charming as I thought I was being. And I just like chucked the captain's hat into the crowd. That was a lot of fun.
The one we got at the mall that day, is that what happened to the captain's hat?
Yeah.
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 I was wondering about that.
That's okay. I keep meaning to get like a legit captain's hat, like, surplus captain hat.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took a little nap. I woke up. I ran across some girl that was kind of chilling. We started chatting. I sat down next to her. We were both pretty fucking drunk. And then her boyfriend, or fiance, I guess, shows up. And he was a little aggressive, but still cool. He like kind of picked me up and was like, "Hey, this is my fiance. Why don't you go enjoy?" He was obviously annoyed, maybe because his girl was hammered. I don't know. It's like, "Oh yeah, Foo Fighters are on, man. Go watch the Foo Fighters," or whatever the fuck he said. So I went and saw them. I was not really that into the show, honestly.
That's
Um,
disappointing. I like Foo Fighters. I've never
I
seen
like
them. I saw them at HF Festival, but they weren't memorable. They were a good band. Same
Yeah,
thing
I
with
guess there were.
TDSD, my favorite band, Modest Mouse. A lot of good bands, but throwing on the whole show is a little bit different of a thing.
They were lively enough. I don't even know maybe I was expecting too much because they weren't bad. Uh, that was also right after Dave Grohl broke his leg, and he was like still doing the tour dates in like a wheelchair. So I respected that, but I don't know. I just wasn't that into it. And then man, Mike was annihilated though. I had to like carry him to the Uber to get back home, and I deposited his ass on my couch and fucking went to bed. So that's my concert experiences with Mike in a nutshell. Good times though.
Sounds like good times indeed. I brought them up briefly on our top 10, but Foster the People were pretty awesome. I wouldn't put it a top 10 concert. Katy Perry was there. She was there. I guess some
Yeah.
people
So
cared.
again, was she a opening act for Foster the People, Katy Perry?
Yeah, she wasn't the headliner. It might have
Seems like a
been.
weird fit. Like a
Well,
weird fit.
this
that's all.
was many years ago, and it's more. It was Merriweather, so more of a rock sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, so again, why Katy Perry? That's what I keep coming back to. I don't understand.
Oh, maybe it was a different flavor of the day, and I'm just subbing in Katy Perry for her,
Must have had
whoever it
great
is.
tits.
It is possible. My brain is substituting Katy Perry for faceless voice of the time.
I
Have we ever
forewarned you.
actually, all three of us, gone to a concert together?
Yeah. Sadly,
Maybe
no.
one. Maybe one of the HFS. No.
No, I only went to the one, and I think you were in Florida at the time.
Yeah. It's just interesting. As much as we have gone to concerts, and three of us were always hanging out, it's interesting that we have never gone to a concert at the same time.
Well, I think you and your dad tried to convince me to go Jimmy Buffett a few times. Not really my cup of tea.
Who, me?
Probably more your dad, trying to
I was
drag
gonna
both
say
of us.
I only ever saw Jimmy Buffett one time, and that was here like 2 years ago, maybe three.
Yeah, your dad probably had no one to go with, so he was trying to get Brian to go.
Yeah, probably.
Eh,
Father's weird.
a lot of fathers are, I've noticed. I can't wait to be a weird dad. Not a creepy weird dad, but a weird dad. Can't wait
Yeah,
for
I
someone
don't
to.
think I'm gonna do that. No, I don't think I'm waiting to be like my father, at least.
No, no, no. But you'll have your own quirks that
Yeah.
will look weird to the younger generation.
Bro, I'm sure. Eat the damn eggs. Right?
Yeah. I told you guys I was going to bring it up, but I used to be in a band,
I
and
hear
and when I was in that band, we got to play at the French embassy for the Fête de la Musique, 2011. I want to say 2010, maybe.
Hmm.
I was working in an apartment building at the time, and one of the tenants worked at the French embassy, so he let me know about the show, and we applied and got in and everything. That was probably the most memorable one that we played. I won't go through every goddamn concert we played because that would be fucking boring for everyone but me. Uh,
Yes,
but
it would. No.
yeah, just playing on French soil was
Yeah, no, that's
fucking
cool.
incredible. Yeah, no, it was really awesome. Even though the French soil thing, the foreign soil at an embassy thing is kind of a loophole,
Yeah.
but I still hold on to it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, it's not really concerts, but when you brought up almost got in a fight at concert, there was one
Yeah.
time I went to a battle of the bands. I don't know if either one. I remember he who won't be named was took me to a battle of the bands in D.C. I
Two, he who won't be names. Was it the P or the R?
the P.
Okay.
He took me. There was a whole bunch of West Laurel kids. There was a Billy, not Bill, a Billy. He got mad at me for some reason, tried to fight me, actually punched me once
Oh,
across the face, and I just
I
looked
have
at
heard
him.
this story.
I just looked at him. I'm like, really? His punch like felt like a gnat. I just laughed and walked away.
Was it at Live Nation?
Probably. As I
I
said,
think I
old
know exactly what
man.
you're talking about. I remember that story.
So I too was in a band. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I was for a little while, but no interesting stories there.
I totally thought the first time we ever played, which was in DC, I was absolutely ready to come off of stage and just get like laid, just so laid. But that never happened. I never once. I was in a relationship for most of that time anyway, but I never once got any interest from any random chicks,
Yeah,
which was a big disappointment, honestly.
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Well, you were the bassist. How did the frontman do?
How fucking dare you? We didn't really have a frontman, but one of the guitarists did pretty well. And actually, the drummer, surprisingly, did the best.
It's always the drummer. Our drummer is
I
I
don't.
believe
God
it.
dang it.
I mean, I'm talking like banging chicks out in the bathroom at the club we were playing at. Fuck, man.
Always
Show
the
me the
drummer,
way.
man.
I don't know how that happens because everyone says it's the guitarist or the frontman.
Nope. Well, I mean, I was the singer, so it's always the drummer.
Bill and I went to go see the White Stripes that time. We talked about that on Tuesday's podcast. That was a great time. I don't
Yeah.
remember anything I bought some buttons that I think I still have somewhere, but nothing out of the ordinary. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Had a great time, but nothing really crazy out of the ordinary. I was supposed to go see Wolfpack in New York, but that fell through. That would have been a really good time. I'm not one to like. I realized in that going to that festival with Mike, I'm too old for fucking festivals. I think at this point in my life. That was the last one I went to, and it was just exhausting. At the end, maybe if I had a bigger group of people to go with, it would be different. But at the end of it, I was just ready for bed, like an old man.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Back in my heyday, I went to like 3 HF festivals in a row, probably 2 with Bill and 1 with you, Mike. Mary was there. She always had the green. I don't think I really smoked that much, though. I was not a goody two shoe, but I was me.
Just wasn't your thing. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. I remember one time I couldn't get off work. I was stuck between 2 night shifts, and I was totally dead at one at the HF festival. It's because they would not schedule me off, so that was just ridiculous. I barely remember it. Can't blame the alcohol, drugs, sleep deprivity. Probably made that one a blur.
Saw Sticks and Skinner down in Florida. It's a really good show. Surprisingly, a lot of old people in the crowd, as would be expected. But man, both of them, did not disappoint. It wasn't one of those situations where they were like too old to rock out. I was pretty impressed with the show that both of them did, and it's been cool. There's one thing I did like about a lot of the festivals we got to go to was that you could like go right down to the stage. So some of the like favorite bands being able to go and be like right up on the stage, like hands on the stage kind of thing, which I think is a cool experience, except for freaking Virgin Festival.
Right, yeah.
Got you caged off 100 yards from the stage. I'm like, what the hell is this crap? But
Oh, you want to get closer? That'll be $200, please.
yeah, well, that was some BS.
That was some BS.
And I got to high five some singers and stuff one time. I went to a concert actually for free. The company I was working for had a booth there, and we got free like admission all the way up to the stage and that kind of stuff whenever we wanted. And I remember cycling up there, and it was like Pitbull and Ludacris and stuff, and they'd come down and high five the crowd and that kind of stuff when they were walking off, and that was a pretty cool experience.
Nice.
There's some funny stuff, you always see at festivals people passed out and doing stupid shit. That's always kind of fun. We sat in this one spot last year at that Bare Naked Ladies and Hootie and the Blowfish concert, and there was this one spot at Merriweather, I guess that the rain had made like super slick, and we just sat there watching every single person. There was this one dude, I swear to God, he slipped in that same mud spot like 4 times.
Nice.
I'm talking like both hands with beer, spill all over himself, go back, get another set of beers, come down the same damn hill in the same spot and fall on his ass again, pouring beer all over himself.
That's got to be annoying because like the concert beers are $8 a pop at least.
Oh God, I don't know how expensive his shirt got from all the beer. I was like, bro, walk around, go to a different way. Come on, like. And of course, the more that people would slip and spill, the worse the spot got. So just everybody was going.
Compounding. We did a battle of the bands once, and we made it to the second round. It was like a multi-night thing, with different brackets. And we won the first night and went back a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it was. And we didn't win, but the band that beat us were like these kids. They couldn't have been older than 13. I think maybe the drummer was an adult. They were fucking legit, though. I gotta say,
by Hanson.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I kind of chuckled to myself when these kids took the stage. I think they were called like Graveyard Kids or something like that. And they fucking brought the house down. First of all, as a child, you only have to do like well enough, and people are gonna go crazy, right? Because it's the novelty of you being a kid. But then they like, maybe I was just had their kids give them credit goggles on, but they were fucking legitimately good. So now I wonder if that's a similar situation to like a parent who pushes their kid into sports. I wonder if they get pushed into these, being in a band. I wonder if the parents, like overbearing parent pushing them into music. I wonder if that's a thing.
They got Tiger Woods into playing the drums.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to play anymore. Keep playing.
Keep playing. You're gonna be the next John Bonham or whatever.
Yeah.
First time I got paid to play, I'll never forget. Shout out Chapalas, Burtonsville, Maryland. I tried to order from them today. They're good people, man. Not just because they paid me that one time. It was like $50. I ended up getting paid, but that was memorable to me. And we drove to New York that one time to play. That was cool. We drank all the way up there. I think I told the story on another podcast. Don't drink and drive, kids, but we definitely drank and drive all the way up to fucking New York.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a whole odyssey. We almost died twice. Once while collecting everyone because there was snow on the ground, and sweet Nancy with the great ass, the Buick Regal, handled itself like a champion in the snow. So we almost went off a bridge, to be real. But I was able to control it. We were fine. And we collected everyone, and the next morning went to go get the van that we were going to rent, but no one had a credit card. No one had like a legit credit card. So we couldn't rent the van. So plan B, we stuffed all the gear into 2 cars and drove up to New York. And my car was arguably the party car. I think we went through 24 beers. There were 5 of us, so it wasn't like we were drinking 6 beers a person. Made it up to New York. We were all excited. Checked into our shitty hotel room in New Jersey. We all slept. There were 2 beds and 6 dudes total. So we all slept together. Not my first time sleeping in the same bed as a man. I've been camping. I don't know. So we get there, and it was like in fucking Brooklyn, and we were all hyped up. And early on in the show, there were probably 200 people in the club. So like it was the largest crowd we had played for at that time, and we were all pumped. But we didn't go on until like fucking 2:00 in the morning. And it was pretty much just the staff sitting on fold-out chairs on the dance floor at that point. And I think one of our guitarists fell into the drum kit, which was actually the second time he had fell into the drum kit. It may have had something to do with all the beer that we drank on the way up there. I don't know. There's video of it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but video exists. And then we tried to go find a strip club after the show, but city that never sleeps my ass, everything apparently closed at 3. And it was like 4 or 5 o'clock at that point. So tits were not to be found. So we just went back to the hotel room and climbed into bed with the other dudes. Rest in peace, Franklin, by the way. I think he was on that trip, and he has since died. So that's unfortunate. Not to bring us down, but yeah, that was fucking great, man. Playing out of state.
Talking
like a
about
big boy.
tits. There was one overnight, a rave thing that I went to. There was definitely a topless girl there, but that was the sort of rave, techno, electronica, mishmashable thing. But that's not the important part. That was a memorable wind down
Sounds
of the
pretty
night,
important.
but it was quite good overall. I might have hooked up with a girl for a little bit. There was the little wooded area. It was an outdoor thing. But the one memorable thing from that, it was on the bay, and there was like a power plant, and I might have been a little high on something. I'm not going to say what. And one of those power plants went off, and it looked like, for a minute, I thought it was a nuclear explosion. It was sort of freaky. Then I'm like, okay, that's not a nuke. That's just a power plant, the bloom with the light. It was weird.
So can we just rewind real quick? So you hooked up with a chick in the woods, but the most memorable part was the arc from the fucking power plant. Is that what I'm hearing here? That was the memorable part? You spoiled son of a bitch.
What? You don't hook up with chicks ever at random parties?
Fuck you, Brian. No, I don't. Okay, I don't.
Screw you, Brian.
Oh, it doesn't happen that often. A few raves. There was a chick who ran with us who was constantly trying to get laid from whoever, but supposedly she
The
was
chick with the mohawk?
STD. No, no.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
She was great. That's funny. You were saying though, I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, that's the whole thing. Memory of old man. Ew, where's my oatmeal?
I feel like there's this portrayal of concerts, especially rock concerts, where you kind of expect to see girls flashing all the time, and
Yes.
and that's really not the reality at most concerts.
No.
It's like maybe 2 or 3 ever I've seen actually do it. Yeah.
There was male Aaron's 21st birthday. It was on the day of Chili Cook-Off, which was in Chinatown that year. And we went down there. We drank. It's the stupid shit you remember, right? We were drinking vodka mixed with Sprite so that we could be on the metro. Spodka is what we came to call it. It's still kind of a running joke between us. And that was a really good time. Definitely saw some chicks flashing. I think I still have a grainy ass. I had an NV2, and I have some grainy ass picture of some chicks' boobs somewhere on a hard drive or something. I tried to save all my tit pics. Thank you. And we met 2 girls there, and one got on my shoulders at one point during. I can't even remember who the headliner was. That was Live was there. They were great. I think Papa Roach was there, and I seem to remember them being a piece of shit as well, performance wise. Honestly, don't remember who else was there at this point. But met the 2 girls, and then went to get sangria at some place that I knew of around the corner. I spent a lot of time in Chinatown in my early 20s for like 6 months, 8 months. The Spodka is what I remember most about that whole event, and it being Aaron's birthday. It was just a fun time. Spodka. And I think he kept yelling to the one girl on my shoulders, "You're sitting on a 200-pounder there," because he was always fascinated by the fact that I've been like over 200 pounds since I was probably 17 years old. Sometimes I've been more in shape than others. Uh, but I always thought his enthusiasm for me being over 200 pounds was kind of hilarious because he's not a short guy, but he's shorter than us, and I think he has a hard time breaking 185 or whatever. So
Hmm.
I saw Santana once when I was in the 6th grade with my dad. That was cool.
Cool.
Have you ever bought a T-shirt at a concert?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I've either. I either didn't have enough money in my earlier days because the T-shirts are like fucking $50 or whatever,
Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous.
or they were like already sold out of the one I wanted, and I wasn't going to spend $50 for the one I didn't really want. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a big concert guy. I find I've been to a handful, been to my fair share, but I'd go to one again. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't go out of my way.
Well, I can't really say I was as a youth, but I definitely saw a lot of music bands. Me and my friend uh, helped promote the He Who Will Not Be Named helped promote like a band called Vericat. They were a big bunch of drinkers, and they were pretty cool.
Nice, nice, nice.
Is there a band that you guys would want to see? Like, when all this shit ends or whatever, is there anybody that you'd really like to see in concert at some point?
I'd really like to see the Gorillas, just because I love the Gorillas first of all, and I really want to see what their shows are all about since they're a cartoon band. And I'd like to see. I almost went to see Orville Peck last year. He was like a gay cowboy crooner.
All right.
He's really good though. I like bought his vinyl because the concert started at 10 o'clock at night, guys, and it was in DC. So I wasn't about to drive to DC at 10 o'clock at night, not because I'm afraid of danger, but because I'm old. Uh, so instead of supporting him with my dollars at the live show, I bought the vinyl online. He's a really good artist. Those are the two that come to mind at the top of my head, and Wolfpack, obviously, the aforementioned Wolfpack. What about you? Anyone still on your list that you want to check out?
I would like to see Green Day, or maybe even Foo Fighters. They're definitely on my list. And like I said before, surprisingly, I wouldn't mind going to see a Garth Brooks concert. Not a huge country guy, but I hear he puts on a hell of a show, and I was a fan of his back in the day.
Sure.
In that same line, I guess, Metallica. I've always wanted to go to a Metallica concert.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see Metallica. Like you and Garth Brooks, I'm a fan, but I'm not like a huge fan.
Yeah,
But
same.
I hear the show is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd like to catch a concert of theirs if they ever get the chance.
S&M action is what I want from Metallica.
Yes! High five, Brian. S&M is my favorite Metallica album with the
It's good.
with the whole orchestra set up.
That's what I would like to actually
Absolutely.
see. And we all
Me
said
too.
we would be curious about Marilyn Manson's new lineup.
Yeah, I would like to see Marilyn Manson again, just for the experience of it. I bet you it's a fun time, and I can find the hot alt rock girl of my dreams.
Make sure she's actually a she. Oh, well, unless you're into that.
I'll check that out, Brian. I'll investigate what's going on.
Go to some emo concerts.
Nah, I don't want to go to any emo concerts. I feel like it's going to be all fucking 10th graders and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
Some like goth rock, get some
Big
titty
titty
goth
goth girl.
Yeah.
my future big titty goth girlfriend. I can't wait to meet you, baby. Can't wait to meet you. What else, Bill? Got anything else?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I've seen a lot of my favorite bands and stuff already, so I mean, there's ones I'd see again,
Sure.
but those, a couple are probably up there on my list.
So many good things about Styx. I wouldn't mind checking out Styx at some point. I got a work friend of mine who's in Austin now. He's playing drums for this band, Red and the Rebels. I kind of want to see them play just because I've never seen them play. Shout out, Red and the Rebels in Austin, Texas. Oh, I didn't mention it last podcast, but that time we saw Ice Cube, my buddy, the guitarist, punched this guy in the face, and I'm pretty sure it knocked him the fuck out. And he punched him for no reason, which was kind of awkward for me because I was, with him. But the guy looked like Hal Sparks. Remember Hal Sparks from the I Love the 80s or whatever series? Punched him right in the fucking face, and he was like just glazed over. I felt bad for the guy because he's being a little obnoxious, but nothing to get your fucking bell rang, Not that bad. That was pretty awkward. I hope that guy's okay. I think about him sometimes, actually. As weird as it sounds.
Yeah, I really can't say there's any bands that I want to see. I mean, Foster the People were cool. Who knows what they've been doing? Would like another go at Third Eye Blind, see how they're doing. It's mostly the oldie bands. I mean, rock is sort of dead nowadays, so... And I keep up with current music more as a spectacle than... But how are these current... What? The Jonas Brothers got back together. Do I want to see that shit? I mean, maybe they're more mature. They had a documentary. I know that much about them. But really, what bands are out there except for old bands?
Metal bands are still pretty popular, right? Slipknot and Gwar, Cannibal Corpse. I know that they still draw a pretty big crowd. I wouldn't mind seeing like Korn. I like Korn a lot. I can't think of anyone else.
It'd be cool to see Tenacious D's just because I'm a big Jack Black fan.
Yeah, agreed on that. Although I think their best work was when there are a few concerts you can find online where Dave Grohl was drumming for them.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Also, Queens of the Stone Age. I'd love to see Queens of the Stone Age live.
Yeah.
Especially if they got Dave Grohl drumming, which he did on that one album. One of my favorite albums of all time. Any pop stars you would want to see? Any pop stars you'd go out of your way to see? I'd like to see Adele.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I forgot you hate Adele. I forgot about that.
Again, she's talented, no doubt. Not going to take that away from her, but God, every time her one of her songs comes on the radio, I'm just like, change it, like nails on a chalkboard. Oh,
damn.
God.
I mean, you're allowed to like what you like and not like what you like or don't like.
Just, I don't know. Her style and the like weird whiny tone that all her songs have. I'm like, oh my god, just shut up. You know?
Is Bruno Mars pop?
Yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Bruno Mars.
yeah. I'd see Bruno Mars. I don't know if I'd go out of my way, but if someone was like, "Hey, here's a ticket," I would go.
Sure. Is there any band that you would not go see live, even if you had a free ticket?
Oh man, I don't.
I mean,
know.
other than the obvious, Bieber. I don't see any of us going to see Bieber.
No.
All the one
Although, I mean, free ticket. It's gonna be packed full of cute chicks.
15-year-olds. It's gonna be
I
packed
don't know
full of
though.
15-year-olds.
I don't know because there's a lot of like thirsty 30-somethings that love them some Bieber. Just saying.
That's true because he hasn't put out an album in like a lot of years now.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually kind of weird, But hey, whatever tickles your pickle.
Sure.
But for that aspect, maybe. But I just like wear earplugs or some shit,
Sure. Although there was that one video that you can find online where he puked like mid-concert. So
yeah, I saw
you might
that.
get that.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed. It's the Puke 2.0 concert.
yeah, and be the one to film it on your cell phone and post it first. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Or try to find out the right amount of alcohol/drug combo to make that listenable.
Wait a minute, Brian. You were the one that put a Justin Bieber song on your top 10 songs of the last decade, if I recall correctly. So I don't want to hear
No,
that. You gotta be.
Justin Timberlake.
Didn't you mention Bieber? All right. All right. All right.
Yeah, all right.
All right. I have no interest in seeing Shakira.
What?
I have no interest in seeing Shakira.
Seeing or
I'm-
listening to?
Both?
Really?
Don't want to see
Yep.
her shake it?
Nope. I don't want to go see T Swizzle. If she was like,
I
"Hey, Mike, you
would.
want to go get a drink?" I would go. Oh, okay.
If someone gave me a free ticket, I would. Again, wouldn't go out of my way. Wouldn't bother to buy one. But if someone gave me a free ticket, hell yeah, I'd go see me some T Swizzle.
I can't think of any other pop stars.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some that we'd be like, nah, I'm good. Not gonna waste my Saturday night on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how adventurous I feel like being that particular night.
Yeah.
And where the show is. Like, if it's in within 20 minutes, I'll probably go see pretty much anyone if it were free.
Yeah.
But if it's more than 20 minutes, I'm only going to go see Bruno Mars or Adele.
I don't think I could sit through an Adele show.
Yeah.
Probably
No,
stick a pen in my ear or something.
Oh, man, your birthday is coming up. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
buy tickets for us as a joke gift one year as a surprise. And
To Adele,
you'll be
right?
forced to go. Yeah. No, it's a surprise, bro. I'll tell you where we're going later. And then next thing you know, we're pulling up to the marquees like Adele and stuff, and I'm like child locking the doors.
Oh God, no!
Gotcha, bitch.
Ah,
I do like trolling you guys, so you know I do.
yeah.
I'm trying to think if there are any other memorable experiences that I could bring up here for live shows. We used to play at an Ethiopian restaurant pretty regularly. I always thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah. Drummer
Yeah,
used to bang
maybe
chicks
we
in the bathroom.
Stop beating a dead horse here and
Mm.
wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else that I can think of. Well, we've had some fun today. We talked about drunk driving, how much Bill hates Adele, the French for some reason. If you want more quality content, be sure to like and subscribe on the video. Check us out every Tuesday and Friday, and occasionally Sunday for more mediocre content. Don't forget to tell us about how much you also hate all of the bands we listed in the comments. And we'll see you later. Bye.